This week on Chapters Over Coffee, we are discussing 5 of the last 11 chapters of Quicksilver, and I am sad that we are almost over and we must wait until November for Book 2, Brimstone. But there's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it.
Okay, so we open up with Saris. She's still reeling from the news about his mother. Um, finding out that his mom knew that she was going to come into his life. She's pissed about what the gods had done, putting them through this, like being fated or whatever, and him having to live like all this time. Like, she's human, he's Fae, why would they do something like this to them? She felt like she kind of wanted to walk away, but she also knows that she can't. Like, she just can't leave him. Um, and then we kind of jump a little bit to them all having a conversation about how uh, there were witches, how they left Evelia before, how they're screwed if they can't find them. They can't convince them to help. Um, like Everlane, her odds are, pretty slim because it's gonna take months to try to heal them or heal her with them. And they, like, after talking it over, they find out that, they don't need just what the, how did they put it? They don't just need, like, fuck did they put it? I don't have my book in here. Something about not only like the strongest, but like, or not just the strong witch, but they need like the most powerful witch to basically be able to help Lane. Um, because Malcolm's venom is like an acid, and what it does to her body could basically make it's going to be like catastrophic what it can do to her.
Yeah, they need the most powerful witch of all time
Yeah.
because his
Um,
venom's acid. Yeah,
yeah.
because
You know what?
it eats away at everything it touches.
I'm an idiot. I do have my book right here. Just wrong copy of the book, but I got my book. Okay. So, they're talking things over. Carrion offers to go with them to talk to the witches, and Fisher's like, yeah, no. You'll just try to fuck a witch. And somebody pipes up and is like, seriously, like, please tell me that you wouldn't.
I
And
think it was
Carrion is even
Laura.
like, no, he's right. I definitely would. Like, he does not think with his head. He definitely
Wrong
thinks with his,
one.
yeah,
Wrong
exactly.
one.
Um, so Daniel offers to go, and they're like, yeah, like, we all agree. You're a bitch. We need fucking space from you. Like, please just up and go.
And she's not
Which
much
I think
better.
is hilarious.
She wasn't much better.
Oh, no, 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 no. So they all get prepared to leave, and Taylena is there. She makes sure to tell Fisher that you need to come see me before you leave. You need to come see me as soon as you return. And Saris is starting to kind of let her jealousy like back off a little bit as now she understands that they don't have anything going on. There's never been anything like between them. Um, which was because Taylor and I talked about, the bond, the connection and stuff that her and her husband have the night before. Um, then we time jump a little bit, hours later, they were not able to get anywhere. with trying to find something to help Fisher and Lane both. And then Ren comes bursting in, ranting and cursing about Danya, because why the fuck not? Saying that the witches were going to help until Danya opened her big mouth and made some shitty comment about how it was the least they could do since the witches left the Fae to clean up their mess, and how they turned their back on Evelia, and that was it. All hell broke loose. Fucking Danya. Like, I
I know.
haven't hated a character this much since Jack fucking Barlow and Tam Tam.
Yeah.
Fucking Tam. Oh, and what was her name? What was her name?
Aurora?
Ianthe.
Oh, Ianthe. I was talking about like Aurora. Speaking of Tam Tam, every time I go to Walmart and I see the skeleton fiddle player. Tamlin, is that you?
We should buy one and then like put a gold wig on it or something. Like sit him outside.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The
Um
character in my game, I'm always like, Tamlin, what are you doing in my game? Because it looks like somebody, though it's like with the mask and everything, you know, when they first started off with the
yeah.
masks. He looks like what Tamlin would look like.
He does. Um, so Ren also says that Fisher was in the process of taking Danya back and then was going to go back and hopefully smooth things over. And even went on to say that it would be a God's cursed miracle if he succeeded. Hours later, Fisher returned with Ishabal. At least that's how they pronounce it in the audiobook. So that's what I'm going with until somebody tells me wrong. She is the granddaughter of Balkadir. I have no idea if that's correct.
I don't know if it's, I think it has it in the beginning of the book, honestly.
Does it? Does this copy even have it in there?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Balkidder.
Balkadir. Okay.
Balkidder.
Who was the High Witch of Marina. She's also not impressed, you know, meeting everybody and seeing that the group of people that are going to take on Malcolm are 3 Fae males and 2 humans. Fisher tries to say, you know, that the humans are staying behind, but that doesn't fly. Carrion says he's going for solidarity, and Cyrus is basically going because Fisher's going, and she feels like she needs to be there, and not let him go alone, and pretty much uses the whole, like, I held my own, like, against feeders, blah, 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 like, I did great. So you can't tell me that I'm not fucking going. And so he's like, okay, pretty much, I hope you're ready and let's do this. And off they go. Or not off they go, but you know, obviously, like they're preparing to go. He does her fucking dirty in the next chapter, which, in more than one way of doing her dirty in the next chapter, but you know.
Yeah.
So that evening, you know, she's prepared to sleep on the couch. Fisher doesn't want her to. He wants them to just have that night, be together, and he tells her that if he had his way, they wouldn't spend another night away from each other. Oh, pulling at my heartstrings.
Yes, but you know why he's doing it all.
Oh yeah. Because, well, think back. The mark, his biggest mark is sacrifice. He was sacrificing himself to.
I understand, but like, still.
So, you know, he asks, "Does that scare you?" She says no. She actually feels the same way, and that's when he tells her, let's just have the night and then we'll deal with him after, we go and get Lane. So, next thing you know, he's scooping her up in his arms and he's whisking her away. And he takes her back to the apartment in Ballard where there's candles everywhere. Like he's just gone all out of his way
Romantic.
to make this, yes, so romantic. She tells him, it's beautiful, and then all of a sudden these smoky clouds and shadows, whatever, fill the room. And she still thinks it's beautiful. She can't believe that, he did all of this for her. But he says that he did it for himself because he's selfish. He needed this. And then she says, make me forget that I've ever suffered. And, he does.
Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
You get the idea. So you can go read it. Um, I was like, go read it, you filthy animals, because this one was honestly like a romantic spicy.
But
Like, very intimate.
well, we know why it was very intimate because what does he finally
Again.
accept?
Yeah.
So of course he's gonna make it romantic.
Yeah. I don't like okay. I I don't like that he says, when I was inside of you, I accepted the bond. Like, just be like, listen, we were making love, boo. And right then and there, I just said, this is what I want. I accept it 100%. Don't be like, my dick was inside of you, so I accepted the bond.
Don't ruin the
Romantic!
moment. Don't ruin the
Yeah,
moment.
that is like, that's not like a ugh level ick, but that's like,
Really?
come on, dude. Come on now. Like, no. Okay? Like, no.
And
I
then
tell
it
you what, if
was,
Derek told me that, I'm gonna throat punch him.
but then it was, well, because he gets the tattoo, and then it was, well, if you don't accept it, it just disappears.
Yeah, and
Way to make her
I'm
feel
sorry.
bad if she
Yeah,
rejects
really,
it.
because now she's like, well, fuck. Now I feel obligated. You just went out all of this way. You made this night romantic. You decided when your dick was inside me to accept it. Now I gotta accept this shit. Like, how do you not? Like, the obligation is 100% real there.
See, but wasn't it stated that she liked the tattoo? And he's like, it's because I
Yeah.
accepted the mating. Well,
Yeah, she did. And then he drops the
another
bomb
gift.
on her. And it's like,
Well,
wait, you accepted it? And he's like, yeah, last night when I was inside you. And I'm like, the fuck, dude? No.
well, way to make her feel bad that if she rejects it,
Yeah.
that the tattoo that she likes isn't going to be there no more.
Yeah. Which we all know where the story is going to go, anyways. So, I mean,
But still, I mean,
yeah.
she could still have a change of heart.
So, after the first time of multiple times,
All night long.
um, she noticed that, he looked kind of peaceful. He looked at ease and everything like that. Then they went on again for 5 fucking rounds over the course of 3 hours. Fuck. Can last that long? Hello? No, I wouldn't have a vagina anymore. It'd be
Apparently,
gone.
Faye.
Just
Apparently, Faye
not.
people.
But no thanks. I'm good. No. I'd like to keep my body. So then, of course, after that, she notices the tattoo. And, that's when he also tells her that that is when it's accepted, they get that new mark and everything. And then she asks, how could he do that? She's human. He's immortal. Agrees that it sucks. But he also tells her, and I knew this something was up. He knew something was up because he says that he would be grateful for whatever time he gets with her, whether it was 80 years or 18 hours. Either way, it would be an honor for him. So,
The 18 hours was implying something.
yeah. And so she's freaked out a little bit. He says that she still has time to choose if she wants to accept the bond or not, and he's fine with it if she doesn't. He's in love with her. That's all that matters. And he'll accept whatever decisions she makes. And then they go to sleep. And then he pisses me the fuck off.
Well, for one, he shouldn't have like dropped the bomb and be like, "I love you," knowing that he's going to leave in a couple of hours for one. And then, well, you don't have to say it back. I'm sorry, but wouldn't you want her to say it back if she truly meant it? Like, don't make her wait if you're not coming back.
I think that what happens next was his way of kind of instilling to her that like I love you with all of my heart. I'm doing this for you because I love you. Like I'm not going to let him get his hands on you. Like I'm going to do what I can do to keep him as far away from you as possible. Like Fisher knows that he is the one that Malcolm wants. That's his toy. Um and he's just going to continue to do things to taunt him, get what he wants, get him back, and he's going to go above and beyond to prevent that from happening. And so he wanted to give her that one night. And I think that is sweet and a huge sacrifice for him, but does he know who he's fucking dealing with? Does he not realize that she's going to do whatever she can to fucking go after him? Mm-hmm. That she's not going to let his friends, his Lupo Proelias, go after him and not join in? Like, does he really think that's not a thing?
Right? Men.
I don't care who you are.
Men.
Just, it's not how it works.
Men. All right. So when she wakes up, lo and behold, Fisher's gone. But inside of her room is a shadow gate waiting for her. He was nowhere to be found as she was like looking out throughout the whole house. So she's freaking out. But he was nice enough to leave her a note.
Yeah, because that makes up for everything.
Yes. All right. Some of the key notes that he left in the note were that he wanted to let her know that he was sending Lane through the gate and she was to be sedated right away due to her being close to transitioning, and that he stated that she would try to go back through the gate to get back to Malcolm since she's enthralled to him. She was going to try to get to him. Lorith is to live his life. He wanted Ramphis to know that he was the standard that he held himself up to, that he could never be like him. He then releases Ceres from her oath, and he wants her to make as many relics as she can, but he wants her, if she wants to, but he's also allowing her to just go get Hayden and Elroy and to explore.
Yeah. Pause for a minute.
Okay, I should have pointed this out the last podcast, but on page 13, it was stated that her mother's body was rotting in the gutters. This is what Elroy throws at her. But yet in chapter 26, when she opens up to Fisher, she tells him they burnt her body in the dunes. So how is her body rotting in the gutter if she was burnt because they watched her on the pyre and her ashes blew away with the wind?
And they burnt her that night that she was killed or the next day?
Yeah, so I don't understand. And I should have brought this up, but I only bring it up now because it was stated that the last time she had cried the way that she's crying that Fisher had left is when her mother was being blown away by the winds.
From the pyre. That would have been her ashes afterwards.
So why did Elroy tell her? Because he stated,
Did Elroy know that they burnt her body?
she went to go get him. I thought he took them. Let me
Oh,
look it up.
yeah.
Because it stated, he goes, I know that struggling to scratch out a life here is better than bleeding out in the fucking sand. Is that what you want? To die in the street in front of Hayden, for your body to rot in the gutter like your mother's, stinking and picked over by the crows. But
I
yet
don't
in
know.
chapter 26,
Either that was something that didn't get caught, um, or
yeah, because I was a little confused. That's
maybe he
chapter
was just like, okay, this is
15.
what could happen to you, even though we, like,
It was just worded
didn't do your mom's. I don't know. Yeah.
because it's. I'm trying to find it. I didn't mark I should have marked these of exactly where. Okay. So. Uh. Where's it at here? Here we go. It should be. Okay, this is where she dies. Because she got her throat slit. So she ran to go get Elroy. That's when the neighbors were doing the things to her mom. And then it says, we burned her the next morning in the dunes, a mile away, a mile from the grass flats. Hayden had passed out. Elroy had to carry him back.
Okay.
But she never ended up in a gutter.
Uh-uh. Yeah, I don't know. Either that was something that was missed in editing, or it's just kind of implied that you could rot in the gutter. But
Guess it's
I
the way
don't
it's
know.
worded though, is like he
Yeah.
implied that that's how her mom had died and that's where her body
Well,
was
yeah.
currently was. So that's kind of like how he implied it. So that's why I'm like,
Unless he was just speaking of how, like, her mom died on the street like that and she has the chance of rotting in a gutter. I don't know. But that is,
but
I did
I
not
doesn't
catch that.
understand why he said like your mother.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
catch that in the read. So that's a good catch, though.
yeah, because it was for your body to rot in the gutter like your mother's. That implies that
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened to her body, not that they had burned her.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's a little confusing. And like I said, I only bring it up now, and I wish I would have brought it up a little bit sooner because I had it in mind the last one, and I totally forgot to write it down. Is because of the way she was crying here, was she compared it to how she cried when
Yeah.
her mother's ashes were being blown away. Um, so while she's like breaking down, she noticed he left Nemarel behind. But she kind of put two and two together because she believed he did it, that he left it there in case Malcolm did kill him, that Malcolm couldn't get his hands on it and try to channel it with power, try to stop all the Quicksilver pools to pretty much to trap everybody where they're at. She knew that Fisher went to, I don't even, how do you pronounce this name? Gillespie? Gillespie? Gillespie?
Gillithry. Gill
Gillespie.
Gillith no,
Gillespie.
wait. How did they say it? Gillithry? Gillith I'm pretty sure it's Gillithry.
Um, yeah, oh, no, that's Galarian. It's not even in this book. Yeah, it's not even in here how to pronounce it. Gillespie? Kind of looks like Gillespie.
Elikon seemed delighted with the response.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. The Fae of Gilthry have spoken.
Gilthry. Okay.
Gilthry. Sorry.
Okay. She
I've
knew
learned how to
that
pronounce
Fisher,
so many of these words confidently by listening to the audiobook because I'm like, well,
and they're probably still wrong.
ought to be correct. So,
All right. She knew that he went to Gilthry to save Everlane and everyone else he had ever cared about. He went there alone and unharmed. After stepping into the Shadowgate, she was in Fisher's bedroom where she found Carrion. Carrion was looking for Onyx, but then he decided, I'm going to look for Fisher's diary, see if he has a diary. But instead, he just found the book that she already knew about that Fisher's mother had wrote him. Now, this part confused me. 1 minute, they're in the bedroom, her and Carrion. They're just talking. There was no cut in between. And the next thing you know, they're in the library. When the hell did they leave the bedroom?
I don't know. Maybe they were walking and talking because she was on a mission.
But it never stated that. The last part. Let me see where this was at. Because I'm like, did I miss something? Like, I had to like reread it. Yeah, because the last part, she talks about the Shadowgate by the bed. Okay, so like here's the thing. So we're up here. The next section's right here. There's no break in the book. So page 524. She's noticing the gate by the bed closing up, and Carrion's talking about there being tension. And the next thing you know, she's describing everybody in the library, where they're placed at in the library. Because he also brought up Carrion. Because he also brought up that Carrion was talking about Fisher leaving Renfus a note, and then it just jumps right to them in the library. There's like what everybody was doing in the library. There was like no break where it like should have like cut in between the different scenes. It just like went straight. So it kind of like confused me. Like, did I miss a part? Like, because there was nothing in between. It's like 1 minute they're talking, next thing you know, they're in the library. So I don't know what was going on. But anyways, Ren notices her there and asks her what was wrong. So she gives him the note that Fisher had left her. So she starts asking if there's a Quicksilver pool in Gilthry, whatever the hell the word is, because I totally just forgot how we're pronouncing the damn word.
Gilthry.
Bren said no, because Belican took it when he came into power. He had merged it with the one in the Winter Palace, so it was large enough to transport an army. Which makes sense now when we find out that Belican has a brother and a sister. So everything makes sense. This causes all hope that she had felt gone. She knew they were now fucked, and so Carrion then reads the note, and he brought up about how long the Shadowgate in Fisher's bedroom had stayed open after she came through it, but leave it to Carrion to figure this out again. He figured out the Quicksilver, what she needed to do, and now he figured out the solution for the Shadowgate on how they were going to get back to Fisher, how they were going to get to this place. Because he points out how Fisher states that Everlane would want to use the gate to get back to Malcolm. So this allows her to put 2 and 2 together on where he was going with his logic, that they could use it to get to Gilthry. Whatever the hell the word is. I'm going to forget that word for like ever.
It's fine.
Ren states that he could kiss Carrion, but although Carrion wasn't opposed to it, he wanted Saris to make him a sword if he was going to help save her asshole boyfriend. So this time around, the Quicksilver wants her to tell a joke. None of her jokes worked. Quicksilver wasn't laughing, but it does.
She had a lame joke though.
Carrion's jokes weren't much better. But they laughed at his jokes. and seemed to approve of his joke. So the moment the Quicksilver made contact with the blade, it caused a brilliant iridescent sheen along with the weapon's edge. And during the process of the Quicksilver, it wanted more jokes, so Carrion told more. So when the sword was finished, Carrion pressed his fingertip against this point. The blade responded, immediately wanting Carrion to name them. And out of all the names, that he could have named this sword, it was fucking Simon. Simon! Wasn't the horse's name Steve? Wasn't there a horse named Steve? And now we have Simon. You have all these names that are hard to pronounce, and then you get a horse named Steve and a sword named Simon.
Yeah.
But it seemed to like the name. It liked the name Carrion had given it. So
that's all that matters, I guess.
Apparently so. This makes Ceres curious if the sword would give Carrion magic, but according to Carrion, the Quicksilver told him to tell her that it was for him to know and her to find out. I think it's going to be a yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a yes. He's going to get magic.
Yep. Not even that. I think you're right.
That he's the missing heir. He's the missing heir to the throne.
Yep.
That Bellican's
There's
afraid
something
of.
more about him. Yeah. There's something more about
calm
him.
And collected.
Honestly, I don't think that they would keep his smug ass around if there wasn't a bigger play coming from him.
And it makes sense why he pretended to be Hayden. Like, it makes sense that he'd be like, okay, let's go.
Like, I think he knew what Fisher was from the beginning. And yeah, he might have been like trying to
protect Hayden at the same
protect
time.
Hayden and everything, yeah. But yeah, I think he's been too smug about like, oh yeah, I knew. Just normal. Fine. I'm in Bay Country now. Like, what we talked about last episode. Like, he fucking knows.
Yeah,
even his comment, okay, do you think my grandma would just go and spew off myths and stories? Like, come on. Grandma doesn't fuck around like that.
So we kind of jump a little bit, and Taylena and Ishabel were getting things ready for Everlane. The process has never been done before that they know of, so it's never been recorded, at least. The cure for the blood curse was lost, but it only helps those who were cursed, not the ones turned. So I'm assuming the feeders. And we learned that witch's magic can't affect the dead. There was a chance that Lane would die before she could be healed, even if she was in her coma-like state. She could still die from his venom. Excuse me. We learned that Bellican had a bounty on Ishabel's family for finding the cure. Which makes sense for now who's seen who his brother is. It makes sense to why he would want the witches dead. To stop the cure. Ceres went to have Carrion tell everyone his sword's name when Everlane came crashing down from the ceiling, smashing the table that was to be used to get into the gates.
Did they know it was going to come from the ceiling, though?
I don't believe. I think when they found out that she was fallen, they realized they could have used that to get up into the gate. I think it was like one of those type of things. I don't think they realized it was coming from the ceiling.
Because I feel like he did that on purpose, knowing that they were going to want to come through that fucking gate.
I also think he did it that way to prevent Everlane from trying to get back into the gate. Which...
Oh, yeah, that too.
I don't believe she would have tried, honestly, because she didn't attempt to. She actually tried warning them when they were going through the gate. And we'll get to that here in a minute, because Lorith went to get Ceres up in there, but she had forgot her sword, so she says to, send Carrion up there. So when it was finally Sarah's turn to get up into the gate, Everlane tried to warn her about the water, but at that point, the gate was already kind of sucking her in before she's falling. So it didn't seem like Everlane was going to try to get back into that gate, no matter what. But then again, maybe she realized also because she came from the ceiling, and makes sense though why Everlane was on the other side, why she got bit.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense now. So she's falling through this gate, and she realizes that there was 80 feet of open air and a shimmering and vast pool of black silk, but it was actually water. After she hit the water, she was in a lot of pain. Eventually, Lorith finds her and gets her to shore, then notices Carrion a little ways away, goes to get him. She notices, and while Lorith is doing this, she notices this big cliff behind her that punched up towards the sky, and it was made of black obsidian. Now, I didn't put two and two together until just now. Keep in mind the black obsidian for when we get to a character re-involved in here. What he was saying. I just put two and two together when I read that. I'm like, wait a minute. Now that he's back in the picture, he was talking about it. So she notices that it was made of black obsidian. When Lorith brought Carrion to the shore, he wasn't waking up due to swallowing too much water. Not even a few blows to the chest from Lorith woke him up. It wasn't until Sarah said she'd tell all his asshole friends that he was a shitty lay, and one last blow to the chest from Lorith that had him coughing up water and him pretty much telling her that she wouldn't fucking dare. It was just the three of them. Yeah, I had to laugh. It was just the three of them. Renfus didn't make it before the gate had closed up. Lorith gave both Carrion and Saris Widow's Bane, which is something that will deaden their pain for a couple of hours. It is highly addictive. He told them that plenty of warriors took it to dull the pain. Some kept taking it, and then they would die from the addiction. I'm assuming. It didn't say how they died. It just said they died, so I'm assuming it was from the addiction.
Yeah.
They overdosed on it. At this point, they needed to climb the cliff. Saris had seen behind her. Her and Carrion were good at climbing because she stated that the walls there in Zavarian were taller than this cliff. She knew that Fisher was up there because she could feel him. At the base of the cliff, she thought it was snowing. Turns out it was ash. Then she heard a loud boom, and she started hearing Anarath more. So she tells the guys to climb.
Question.
Okay.
Are they the ones we find out are there? Is that them chanting to be released? Is that the voices that she's hearing?
Yes, because I'm getting to that. Because at the top of the cliff, there's an amphitheater. So with hundreds of thousands of people sitting in the stands, roaring at the top of their lungs, Anarath more.
Okay.
Lorith notes that because they didn't know what they were hearing, Lorith tells them, release us. We finally learn that it means release us.
So they want release from their hell that they are trapped in, from reliving, all of that. But I'm surprised that they're trapped there and they're not, feeders, they didn't reanimate or whatever. So, how are they being held there?
I'm assuming it's some type of magic. I'm trying to find
There's no magic there. But see, there's no magic there available.
See, I don't know. Okay, I want to mark this page real quick. Oops. I'm not quite sure. Maybe we'll find out more in the next few chapters. But these people were begging to be released. But I think it was stated in your chapter, though. I think Malcolm explains in your chapter, doesn't he?
We find out what happened to them. Like,
yeah, but I don't know exactly how they have them left that way. But I thought we read that.
I don't think it goes
not into
much detail. Like,
just Bellican wanted to release the oath on Fisher so he could explain to his friends why these people were there. I do know that much.
Mm-hmm.
When they're up on top, she notices a raised dais. On the other side, with people sitting atop it, while Fisher was at the foot of it. Lorith asked, "What in the 5 hells am I looking at?" when a voice answered, "This is only the first circle of hell." The voice belonged to none other than Heron, whose eyes were now scuffed metal, pure quicksilver. His skin was wrinkled and translucent, and he had shattered teeth. She was confused. Ceres was confused how he was there in Ivalia. Girl, me too. Because I haven't put 2 and 2 together. Although, like I said, I just realized that she had noticed the cliff was obsidian black, and his last words were the ground, the passages, they move in the ground, obsidian, obsidian, obsidian. So, who's moving in the ground, for one? Where are the passages? Does Bellican have passages? Or Majra have passages underneath the ground to connect them somehow to... Maybe he's meant the pools.
Maybe. But, I don't know.
But I wonder if him stating, because it really doesn't say... him talking about obsidian has anything to do with this cliff, because lo and behold, he's on this obsidian cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I don't know.
Then behind him, she notes there are like 300 fresh feeders, which we can maybe assume that is from the Winter Palace. More people from the Winter Palace. I had an idea. Area. What's your idea?
And I had an idea, but I don't think it is, because don't they fight the feeders?
Not these ones.
No, not these ones.
No, because he makes the vortex. He's gonna make the vortex real quick.
What if they're people from the 3rd Ward? Remember their big celebration that Madra was planning? And
but did she describe?
Never got any more information because Carrion came, and so we don't know what found out, and we thought that just seemed fishy, because why would she be throwing a celebration to reward people, the poor people that she can't support and give things to?
She said they look like fae, though. Okay. She just states the flesh of life still clung to their skin. It would soon fade enough, but for now they still looked like fae.
Okay.
Because then she wondered.
I had thought maybe they were her people. I'm like, this fucking
I thought
bitch,
Winter Palace. I was thinking the people that live in the Winter Palace.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. Too. But she also questioned what power could Heron have over these feeders. Like, because he stopped them. He just had to raise his hand and they all stopped. So, how is he tied into all of this? How did he end up where he was?
Now? Like, is he a lord now at Madra's, like,
but
plea? Like,
the Quicksilver took him. So how did he end up where he ended up?
I have no idea.
That's what I need to know. Heron does tell them that the walk to the amphitheater, like where Fisher and them are at, would take too long, so he creates this vortex for them to go through. And Sarah notes that it wasn't right, but she had no other choice with the feeders behind Heron. She knew if they stuck around, he'd probably send them to eat them because they were hungry. Lorith lets her know that it was okay to go through the vortex, that they would be right behind him. So she, talks to Fisher through her mind and tells him that they were there, and for what it's worth, they were coming. The moment, though, she starts getting sucked up into this vortex, Fisher responded and told her not to come, but by then it was too late. And shit's getting good.
Okay, so they are through the vortex, and she sees Fisher. She thinks, I always see him. My heart and soul know where to find him. He's on his knees. He's covered in blood. He looks exhausted. He tells her that she shouldn't be there. He wanted to save her from it. He did not want her to go through this with him. And, they try to go to each other. Like, forces are pulling them away or whatever. And then, Malcolm speaks up and, he makes a comment, we haven't been formally introduced. She looks up to see him, and on each side is fucking Madra and Belicon, with douchebag in the middle. Fucking three amigos. Even Carrion is shocked. And I do think that it's because he didn't think he was ever going to see Madra again. Obviously, they got out of there. I think at this point, he, too, didn't really have any want to go back.
Well, like you had said,
I think
though,
he's just kind of wanting to stay. He too has kind of formed a thing with everybody. I don't think he'd want to go back.
Oh, probably not. Okay. So back to what you were saying. Okay. So he may have been shocked because the last time he saw Madra was building. What if the feeders that you thought were her people, those I believe are from the Winter Palace, but what if she really wasn't setting it up for the Third Ward, or some of those people because now that they're all three connected again, she had to be setting up for her people to be turned.
I hope, honestly, that there's more to that in book 2, because I feel like
is this the quest that
after everything
Fisher...
that happened at the beginning, and then her setting that up, seriously, why would she be rewarding a poor ward that she doesn't support? That her advisors were just no, and then quarantine them with the plague. Other than to, especially after the Quicksilver is open, she's fuck, either I need an army or I'm going to supply my brothers with shit and keep them from coming after me. You don't come after me, I give you people I don't want anymore.
Ooh, that would make sense. And I wonder if this has to do, is this the quest? Is this the quest that Fisher and Carrion go on in the next book?
Unless they finally go find fucking Hayden.
To go protect Silvarian people?
Maybe.
Or to take her out? Oh, I can't wait.
I know. So Malcolm does the introductions. He's oh, you must be Saris, blah blah blah. Oh, you're not Ren. I know who Ren is, so you must be Lorith. And then he gets to Carrion. He's I don't know who you are. So Carrion goes to do like a bow in like a mocking way and introduce himself. Before he can get his full name out, he like motions to Heron, who then brings his sword hilt down on the back of Carrion's head, kind of knocking him out. And then he tells them, like your swords aren't going to do you any good here. We're in a graveyard. There's no magic. And obviously the swords are magic, so there's nothing for them to kind of pull from. And that is when, yeah, it does.
About the Anarath Moor part. They're in a graveyard.
Yes.
And when they were walking through that forest.
But is because there's no magic, like, is that what's keeping them there?
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, I still don't understand what type of hold he would have on them to keep them there.
When they were going through that forest and he was telling them that the screams that she was hearing were people reliving how they died.
Unfinished business, then maybe?
It was
like,
in that forest. I don't know exactly. I don't remember if it stated how they had to relive it. But I'd have to go back and look. But I wonder if it's something similar to that. And can we assume Anarath Moor is Old Fae? Old Fae language that she can't understand, and that's why she heard the Anarath Moor and not exactly what they were saying until she was told.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure either.
At the end of this, I did see a thing, and I'll tell you this at the end after we go through this and we're kind of wrapping things up. And it was something that like we didn't go too much into and everything before. But this is when Madra makes a comment and calls Malcolm brother. And, Saris can't believe what she hears. And so she decides to out Madra as the one who had closed the Quicksilver. They knew. They didn't really care at this point. Madra just says, I did it because you sent a beast after me. Like, what else was I supposed to do? And, now that they're together, they're more powerful than ever.
So we know why. We know why because we know who the beast is.
Yeah.
So we know why Belican sent his dad through there. Get him out of the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. And she can't believe that he had known, like he, sent his dad away. Then he blamed his dad for stealing the Quicksilver. Like he sent him to his death. She closed it. He blamed him and labeled him a traitor.
Logic to get his Fisher's mom.
Lorith, he can't believe that Belican would sit up there with him because of the war that's going on. And then Belican says, war? I've been supplying my brother with people. Like, he's just been keeping this going. The reason that they've never been able to win is because they've pretty much had this deal to where I'll supply you with your army, like, indirectly, and
you leave us alone.
It's a situation, like that's less people for one that would have to overthrow him, and Malcolm gets the biggest army that he wants, whatever he wants, So then Madra chimes back in saying, Malcolm should give his plaything a break and that, he's happy that they're all reunited and how Madra had missed it before because, They had a lot of fun. The fall of Gilthry was like a sight to behold. It was the greatest thing that he had done, and blah, blah, blah. Like, fucking dickbag. Um, and, Sarah starts to see, like, there was a guard who had tried to hold her back, and she recognizes him as a palace guard, one of Bellacon's palace guards, and she um can see the look in his eye that he knows that what he's doing is not right, that he doesn't honestly seem to want to listen to Belicon. Like, he knows that the whole situation is fucked up, but he kind of has no choice but to go with it. That's his fucking king. I mean, what are you gonna do? Um, so that's when Malcolm starts kind of taunting them and everything, asking if he should be the one that tells them what Fisher did, or if he should release him from his oath so he can tell them. So then he makes the comment to decide to ask the ones that he killed. And that's when Saris is like, what? He killed people? And she really starts to look at their surroundings, and she sees that the people in the amphitheater and the stands are burnt to a crisp. Like, they are just completely charred through. Eyes are melted. It's like a horror scene. But there's females, there's men, there's even children that are sitting in this stand. And he asks them, they all start shouting. The three big ones, they love the response. And so the king releases Fisher from his oath so that way he can tell them. That's where we fucking end, on a cliffhanger.
Like always.
We don't find out what happened just yet. We have to wait another week to tell you guys all about it. Anyways, I was a little pissed by that ending, but it is what it is.
I know.
We're down to the final 5 chapters plus bonus chapter in this gorgeous edition.
Speaking of this edition, okay. So
I'm not even mad that I'm not getting the other one to match Brimstone, because I think this will match just fine.
So did you notice in the paperback, I gotta figure out my camera here. In the paperback, here's the map. Okay, for anybody, I don't know how it is in the original hardback book. I wish I could get my hands on the original hardback book. Here's the map, though, okay? Compared to the new book. It's so much more prettier.
It is.
So much more detailed.
It's more detailed.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's going to play a big part in book 2. Like, if this is going to go with book 2 and we're going to explore more areas. Because there is a lot more detail and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, this one has the Lupa Parolias, one of the swords, I'm assuming one of the god swords, and onyx. But yeah, definitely a major upgrade on the map. I don't know if this is the same map as the hardback version of this cover. Again, I would love to get my hands on this hardback cover.
I know.
So, but I do like in this one. Now, is the map the same in the new cover too? Like the darker version? Because this one's Walmart exclusive. This one's a Walmart exclusive. So is the darker cover also the more detailed map? I didn't really
I'm going to have to go and scope it out.
I know. I'm going to have to look because I didn't look. I was just, I knew when I saw this one, I'm like, oh, I want the light covered one. It was like a
Okay.
gorgeous blue.
Oh,
Yes, you're.
shout out to Fantasy Fangirls podcast. Fucking love them. They always have different ways of looking at things. You know, like they point out all kinds of different things that you don't notice or that you don't think of. And I came across a TikTok like sneak of like one of their episodes and everything. And they were talking about how after finding out about like Saris being kind of like, I wouldn't say prophesized to come, um, but like her mom uh drawing her with like pointy ears and stuff like that, kind of hinting to her like, was she supposed to be Fae and everything? That's why she's got the blue eyes and the dark hair, and that wasn't something that was common. And like her name is like Old Fae and everything. Like that was hinting that it was supposed to be different. Like she was supposed to be with him and not a human.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like stuff that they didn't change or whatever. But I thought that was kind of cool. Like, sucks, but it was just something that they pointed out and I didn't think about that. But like I knew that there's something more about her.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we find that out that his mom knew she was coming, but
Right.
in more ways than one, but you know.
I don't know about that far. I mean,
Pretty
she
good for
probably
the day.
assumed it, but
I know.
because I mean, she knew they were mates.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching or listening to this week's episode, and join us for the final episode of Quicksilver. It will be the last 5 chapters plus Kingfisher's bonus chapter. It's a sad end of the road, but we only have a few weeks before Brimstone comes out. I think November 18th is the date.
Yeah, I think the 17th or the 18th.
But before we start that, we'll do the Graham and Oro book, Dueling Crowns, and then we'll break down Brimstone and go from there.